Hollywood is indelibly printed in our minds as the go-to place for entertainment, and has been for decades. When there really did seem to be more stars in Hollywood than in heaven, Hollywood Stage had them performing films as radio plays, on the sponsor's dime, of course. Right here.
David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, starring Boris Karloff, Flora Robson, Cyril Ritchard, Hugh Williams, and Richard Burton. Helping to build a better America through better steels and products of steel is the job of the industrial family that serves the nation, United States Steel. Look for our trademark, USS, on any steel product. It's your guide to quality steel. And now, as the lights go down at the Belasco Theater in New York, here speaking for the Theater Guild, one of America's foremost theatrical producers, is Roger Pryor with a word about our play and players.
Tonight, for this Christmas Eve, the Theater Guild on the Air brings you David Copperfield, the best-loved of Charles Dickens' immortal novels, played for you by a brilliant all-star cast from Broadway's leading stage successes. As Uriah Heep, you'll hear Boris Karloff, now starring in Peter Pan. As Aunt Betsy Trotwood, Flora Robson, star of Black Chiffon. Our Mr. Micawber is Cyril Ritchard, star of The Relapse, and Hugh Williams, star of The Cocktail Party, as Mr. Wickfield. Richard Burton of The Ladies Not for Burning is David Copperfield, who tells us his own story. Our featured players are Isabel Elsom of The Curious Savage as Peggotty, Brenda Forbes of Ring Around the Moon as Mrs. Micawber, and David Cole of The Innocents, who plays David as a boy. We raise the curtain now on David Copperfield, adapted for radio by Robert Anderson and directed by Homer Fickett.
Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these pages must show. To begin my life with the beginning of my life, I record that I was born, as I've been informed and believed, on a Friday at 12 o'clock at night. It was remarked that the clock began to strike and I to cry simultaneously. To the enormous disappointment of my great-aunt, Betsy Trotwood, I was born a boy, and therefore was named not Betsy Trotwood Copperfield, but in memory of my recently deceased father, David Copperfield. My first years were happy ones, presided over by my child of a mother with her pretty hair and youthful shape, and by Peggotty, our maid, who had no shape at all, and whose buttons popped off her dress at the slightest exertion.
Come along, Davy, and dance with Peggotty and me.
Peggotty will lose her buttons, Mother.
Lord, young Davy's right. Mrs.
Well, then she'll just have to pop them. Here we go, round and round and round.
But the happiness was abruptly ended by the gentleman with the black whiskers, whom my mother married in my 9th year, Mr. Edward Murdstone, who brought into our carefree home his tyrannical doctrine of firmness.
Now, Clara, be firm with the boy. Either he knows his lessons or he does not know them.
I'm afraid he does not know them, do you, Davy?
I can do them when it's just you here, Mother, but not when...
And what do you mean by that, I'd like to know?
Edward, you must give him time to get accustomed to you and your manner.
Very well. Master David, I'll give you a sum to do.
Please say it slowly, sir.
Why, of course. If I go into a cheesemonger shop and buy 5,000 double Gloucester cheeses at 4 halfpenny each, present payment, and then I buy...
I can't do it. I can't.
Ah, you won't do it, you mean. You're obstinate.
Please, Edward.
Come along with me. Come along.
Where are you taking him?
I tell you, Clara, I have often been flogged myself. Get in there, David.
Please don't whip him.
Mr. Murdstone, sir, pray don't beat me. I've tried.
Have you indeed? Well, then, try that.
Oh,
and that. And... Ah! Oh, you bite, do you? I'll show you what we do to animals that bite.
Oh!
For having bitten Mr. Murdstone's hand, I was sent away, over my mother's protests, sent away to school, where my chief humiliation was that upon arrival the headmaster, Mr. Creakle, who never spoke above a whisper, said to me,
Turn around, young man.